Good morning, folks. Welcome back to the Philosophy for Philistines channel, otherwise known as Politics for Plebeians, with your host, this guy, Bill Reimer. I want to discuss with you a real problem that radical postmodernists and critical theorists are facing today. They face a problem where the outcome of their belief system has both been predicted and has become glaringly obvious. Yet, because it is the function of their ideology to attempt to further their revolutionary purposes, they can't admit when those of us who are aware of what they're doing call them out on their duplicity. Here's an example. I attended a Norwegian course known as Norskkurs when I lived in Norway. I was the only one paying to attend the course, and I deliberately went to the local school where I was living instead of going to Oslo University to study Norwegian, so that I could observe firsthand how well they were assimilating immigrants into their system. There were a few people from Eastern Europe, and there were many from Iraq, some from Iran, some from Afghanistan, and also sub-Saharan Africa. Probably Ethiopia too. Maybe even the Sudan. My point is that I watched a failed experiment. These people were never going to be assimilated into Norwegian culture, and they demonstrated little interest in learning Norwegian, except for a few of them. One fellow in particular, Tokyo Rana, whom I often sat with because their schools are small and you have to share a desk, who was a Pakistani and his wife was a physician. Anyway, Tokyo was a brilliant student. But he was decidedly anti-Western in his beliefs. The other night, there was a shooting in Oslo where an Iranian, apparently shouting Allah Akbar, or however this is pronounced, murdered 2 gays and shot many others, attacking the gay pride parade there. This is what I find so ironic. The radical left in Norway has to claim that these people will be so envious of Norway's perfect social harmony and its absolutely moral rectitude that they will instantly wish to become Norwegian in all that they say and do. And yet, of course, the net result is that murder, tyranny, rape, crime, and all manner of other very, very damaging antisocial behavior is demonstrated in these immigrant communities. And they're there for one reason: to get staten, the state, to give them handouts. That's why they're there. So I had a friend who was remonstrating with me this morning, saying that if I was really spiritual as he practices some Eastern religion, one that I'm not familiar with because I've never heard of the guru that he follows. And since I follow the way, and Christianity has been the basis for Western culture, ethics, epistemology, and philosophy, I have little understanding of of these peculiar, new agey sort of religions. Nevertheless, this guy failed to recognize that everything that I've stated about what was going to happen since I woke up in Norway to the actual damage that the postmodern left was doing, everything I've stated has come to pass. And secondly, if you actually are a spiritual person, wouldn't you have a desire to warn others of the dangers of their ideological possession and how it is deconstructing society? I can't shut up. I am perhaps the unwilling. It's as though God is dragging me along, shouting and screaming by my ear. But I am convicted to say what I have to say about these ruinous ideologies that are the very antithesis of every single principle upon which the West is built, which can be summed up pretty simply, that each of us are created in the image of God, and therefore each has individual worth. A society that cannot care for the individual and does not recognize their divine nature and therefore their divine rights cannot expect to function in a healthy manner. Postmodernism, critical theory, these are all socialist doctrines that fly in the face of the inherent rights and the inherent divine nature of the individual. So, this fellow that was remonstrating with me couldn't explain two things. First of all, how it is that I've been absolutely accurate in all my predictions from 2013, 2014 on about where the radical left was taking us, which also includes this horrendous shutdown of society in the face of a pandemic, where instead of protecting the weak and the infirmed and putting those that are sick in quarantine, they shut everything down in a deliberate attempt to destroy the economy. And this is proven because the people from the World Economic Forum have stated that this is that COVID provided an opportunity for this great reset. And yet when we state what these people themselves have stated, they say that we're conspiracy theorists, even though our assertions can be proven to be true. So there's number one. Everything I've warned people about has come to pass. And number two, if you are truly a spiritual person, how could you allow everything to go to hell around you without saying, that doesn't look like a good way to go there, brother. I'd step back before you jump off a cliff. If you were truly a loving person, you might even want to take them by the arm and pull them back from the edge. So their own arguments deconstruct themselves. But I challenge you to go back in the past and look at what I've stated and find out something that I wasn't accurate on and share that with me. Because, and then thirdly, obviously there is nothing special about me. I am not some sort of bizarre prophet that can see things that other people couldn't readily see. The only reason that people cannot see what's going on in the same way that I do is that they choose to be willfully blind and turn their backs on God and their divine calling. Time to wake up. And I don't mean woke up. I mean wake up and encounter the eternal Logos. Thanks for listening. Please post your comments. I invite you to debate with me because I collect postmodern arguments the same way that a philatelist collects rare stamps, with this exception. There's nothing rare about any of the postmodern arguments I've ever heard. All of those who have used this ideology in an attempt to debate with me, all of them say exactly the same thing. You could exchange any one of them for another to have the same discussion. God bless you. Have a great day.